Okay. Testing. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to today's New York session live stream. I don't know how many of you are in the London session live. So for today's New York session, so when we left off the London session, we were at this point around here. So my focus for the London session and the upcoming New York session at the time was to get some sort of a consolidation, either in an ascending channel or ascending nature, or if we get some range bound market. Now we have got the ascending nature, so I was looking to see if we could get this sort of price action, then I would start to look for shorts. Now, as I always say, in case you can't see this price action clearly, then you can just go down to the line chart. So as always, whenever market has trended for a while, I'm looking for signs of exhaustion where market is just moving in a zigzag manner as it pushes upwards. With every time you're pushing, we're breaking the highs, you're retracing, you're breaking the highs, retracing until you get the reversal. So let me just go down to the line chart so that you can see this clearly, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Market has been trending upwards for quite a while, and then we get this sort of zigzag price action at the top. So this is what I refer to as an ascending nature or ascending channel, and it shows signs of weakness in the buying pressure. So for me, as you know, I like to sell when the market is high and buy when the market is low. So this sort of price action right now is ideal for me to look for shorts. So I'm going to wait and see if we can get strong selling pressure. Now, in another 10 minutes or so, we're about to get some high impact news from the euro. So we have the main refinancing rate and the monetary policy statement, as well as the ECB press conference, which will be later on at 1:45 p.m. Now this will be 3:45 p.m. Kenyan time. This is based on London time. So you also have to be aware of that high impact news and impact it will have on the markets. Earlier I was even thinking about avoiding trading completely, but since it's news coming out from the euro, I don't think it will have that big of an impact on crude and the indices and commodities. So we are going to see the impact of those high impact news as they are being released. Now I'm looking for sells in crude, so I'm waiting to see if we can get impulsive selling pressure coming out of that area. See if we can take short entries on the first pullback. Now, I don't think I've done any other New York session live this week. This will be the first New York session in a while where I'm live streaming. I'm not sure about the sound. There might be an echo. Let me know if the sound is fine. What pairs do you guys have on watch? And what bias do you have for the day or for the session? And have you been able to take any trades today or even this week? Now, the thing about today's shorts on crude is that I'm also looking for shorts on the 1 hour time frame. So this really aligns really well in both time frames. Now on the 1 hour I have a swing approach, but you can also see this is a market that has really trended for quite a while, and you can see the reduced momentum even on the 1 hour candles. So even on the 1 hour I'm just looking for the same thing, but on the 1 hour the setup might take maybe 4 hours, or another maybe might get the setup during the Asian session most likely, because if you do get the setup during the spread hours, I don't like to get involved, but we might get the setup on the 5-minute time frame or on the 5-minute strategy, intraday strategy. I'm still also looking for shorts on Audi JPY. We've been waiting for the sell-off since yesterday. was waiting to see price coming out of this ascending channel impulsively, but we did get the sells, but not with a lot of strength. We've come, tested this high again, giving us some sort of a double top. And so I'm waiting for the selling pressure to finally kick into the market to see if we can take shots. Similarly to New Zealand JPY, during the London session and when I left off, I was waiting to see if we are going to break outside of this small consolidation or small range impulsively, look for shorts, and we have broken out of the range, but not with enough selling pressure for me to get involved. I still have enough time. I still have to wait for this candle to close. So ideally I'd like to see this candle breaking the low of the previous candle and closing very strongly for me to start looking for entries on the pullback. But generally I'm still looking for shorts on New Zealand JPY on the swing approach. Now, as I always say, the entries on the 1 hour time frame on the swing approach need some time. So just like in Audi JPY, we may need a few more hours before we can get the setup. So I'll have an eye on that. But for now, I'm focusing on crude to see if we can get shorts on the intraday. Now on the intraday, I'm in and out of trades in a matter of hours, and especially nowadays, especially in the New York session, I only trade the first 3 hours of the New York session, and that after that my trading day ends unless I can see if I can get any entries on the swing. But on the swing I don't need to look at the charts that much, because as I've said, it takes quite a while for the setups to present themselves. Also, let me know where you guys are joining me from. If you can get the setup on crude, it will be really ideal because it really aligns well even with the higher time frame. So far this week I've not taken any trades, although I've been looking for opportunities every day, and I've been doing live streams every day this week, apart from I think it was on Monday when we had the bank holiday in Japan. Since I don't trade whenever we have a bank holiday in Japan or in the US. So for now, I'm waiting to see how we're going to break this low. We have the release of the ECB of the refinancing rate in a few minutes. Let's see how price is going to react on the euro. So in 15 seconds, we're about to get this main refinancing rate and the monetary policy statement. I expect to see some spikes, especially if we get different data from what is forecasted. So 3, 2, 1. Let's see. I've not had a spike in price. The price is developing. Seems like we did not get data that is very different from the forecast, so and see we got exactly what was forecasted. So that's why we've not gotten a huge spike. So this is a good thing for me because now I can continue to look for opportunities. Now on Euro USD during the London session, I was waiting to see I was skeptical of taking shorts as we were approaching the Asian lows, but we've just pushed through the Asian lows with so much strength. But this last candle in this push is a warning that the selling pressure might reduce. So I was not looking to get involved on pullbacks. This would have been an ideal area to look for pullback entries, but I'm just going to stay out of that for a while. I'm going to leave even on pound USD. We had the same price action, strong selling pressure, but then this last candle with a wick and a bullish close is not ideal. Now on USD CHF, we've continued pushing higher. I did not like the strength of the push, the strength of the candles in this push to the upside this large week. So I'm also not getting involved. The Euro JPY and Zealand JPY, I'm only looking for entries on the 1 hour time frame. Now on gold, during the London session, we were coming out of this consolidation area, and I was waiting to see if we could get short entries, but once we got this very huge week with this first initial push, I was no longer looking to get involved, and prices continued to push lower, but now we can see a lot of reduced strength in the selling pressure, and it stayed out of the market. So now on gold, I'm no longer looking to see if I can get shorts because price has already pushed lower for quite a while. And as always say, whenever the market has trended for a while and you look for continuation entries, even if you get the pullbacks, we are likely to get deeper pullbacks. So I don't like to get involved because I can easily get tagged out with the trade before price continues to push lower. Now this is very similar action to silver, which moves in a similar manner to gold. And as I'm not looking for anything, neither on the DAX, the Nikkei, or so for today's New York session, I'm going to focus on crude, see if I can get short entries on crude. I like the fact that we come again, tested another high, and we're getting a retrace. So I am waiting to see how we are going to break this low. I want to see strong selling pressure with at least two very impulsive candles, or one candle break followed by a very strong impulsive bearish candle to confirm momentum. Then I can start to look for pullback entries. So hopefully you can get the sell-offs and look for entries on the pullback. If you have any pairs you want me to look at, let me know. Also, let me know the pairs that you guys have on watch and what bias you have. today's theme music for the New York session is Reggae Thursdays. So I'd like to keep today's live stream to 1.5 hours. I don't know how many of you are around during the London session live. If you are around during the London session, then you know I was anticipating or focusing this price action, waiting to see if we could get signs of exhaustion before we could get selling pressure. We are getting that, we're really getting that signs of exhaustion with the ascending nature. Every time we're breaking highs, we're getting sellers, we get a retrace. We come and break the highs again, we retrace. We've broken the high again with a large wick. So it's all about waiting for selling pressure. Now, this doesn't mean that it's a must that we're going to get the selling pressure. We're dealing with probabilities and looking at whether cycles can repeat themselves. So if you continue to push higher, it's still fine, but I'm not going to look to get involved with longs. For me, to get involved in the market on crude today, I'm looking to see if I can get some shorts. Up with the internet. The stream should be doing fine. So I'll have a watch on gold just to see if we can get the reversals. So I I like to see some consolidation around these areas before we can start to look for reversal. If you can get some consolidation, then you get a push to the upside with strong buying pressure. I look to get involved. But right now the focus is on crude. I'm definitely changing my internet service provider at the end of this month. I am waiting for sell-offs on crude, see if we can get shorts for today's New York session. What else do you guys have on watch for the London session or the New York session today? Now, we only have one other high impact news coming out at 1:45 p.m. with the ECB press conference. But I don't think it will move the market that much. Let's see if the internet will pick up. We should be good now. So since you're still pushing high and getting pullbacks, so if we break the higher game, I'm going to move my pivot low, this low of this candle. But for now, I'm waiting first of all for prices to break this low before I can get involved. And I want to see it breaking with a lot of selling, with a lot of strength. So let's just be a little bit patient. Finally, the stream is now smooth. Now, if we continue pushing higher with strong buying pressure, I'm not going to get involved with longs. As I said, I like to get involved with buys when the market is low, not when we have trended for quite a while. Now, this setup also aligns very well with what I'm also looking for on the 1 hour time frame, because as you can see, we had a market that had been trending for quite a while, and you can see the reduced strength in the candles now as we are continuing to push higher. So I'm also looking for shorts on the 1 hour time frame. So in case you don't get the setups during this New York session, the shorts might still be in play later on, maybe during the Asian session, but it will be on a swing approach type of entry. Hello Ramsey, thanks for the heads up. I'm wondering why I'm having that echo. Testing. I guess the echo still there. Yeah. Testing. I guess it's now fine. What else do you guys have on watch for today's session? I hope the sound is good now. Testing. I guess it's fine. Maybe just a little echo. Now that we've broken the high of this candle, I'm going to move my pivot low to the low of this candle. So I'm waiting to see if we can break this low with strong selling pressure. Then I'm going to look for pullback entries to short the market. see we're getting continued sell-offs on the gold. Now, I was looking for sell-offs on gold during the New York session once we came out of this consolidation. And the ideal entry for me would have been this first push, but we did not get the strength I was looking for. So I'm no longer looking to get involved with shorts on gold, just because once we trended for this long, well, we are more likely to get deeper pullbacks. My focus is on crude, but I'd like to know which pairs you guys have on watch. Today's theme music, Reggae Thursdays. Keep us entertained as we wait for the setups. I actually have to move my pivot to this low. Just noticed this candle did not break the high of this one, so now there are ways in which I look at the pivot lows and determine which areas I should consider the pivot lows to look at. So right now we just have to wait to see how we are going to break this low. Are we going to break it impulsively so that we can look for pullback entries, or are we going to break and then start to consolidate? Are you looking for longs or shorts on Euro USD? For me, on Euro USD on the intraday, I will be looking to see if we can get exhaustion, sense of exhaustion of this selling pressure, see if we can get reversals, because we already trended for quite a while. This week, in this push to the downside, is a warning sign for me that the selling pressure might be exhausted anytime. Although I might be wrong and price might continue to push lower, but I won't be looking for shorts. Let me look at the price action on the 1 hour. Now, on the 1 hour, I'd have to wait and see first of all how we break this low. Very important to see if you can continue pushing lower from this point. You can see logic behind looking for shorts. But what bias do you have on Euro USD? the entries would have been ideally for the earlier, but I remember during the London session, we were in this area just at the start, and I was looking to see if we could get the selling pressure, since we had a market that had trended for a while, and now as you know, we get cycles, uptrends, downtrends, uptrend, downtrends. So I was just waiting to see if we could get the selling pressure, but I was aware of these Asian laws, and this is the reason why I did not want to get involved. Now we got a pullback here, but either way I will have not gotten my entry trigger, but we have broken with a lot of strength. But now we are approaching that area I'm talking about. So we might get deeper pullbacks in this region. We may get some bias, some buying pressure right now. Ideally for me, I'm looking for signs of exhaustion here. Look for reversals to take longs. I want to see, normally, as I always say, once price has trended for quite a while, I like to see some sort of consolidation, either in an descending nature, or in a range, before we get the impulsive push to start looking for longs. Now we might still continue to push lower, but I don't think I'll be looking to get involved. But that's just based on my analysis and my approach to the markets. I'm also looking for reversals on gold. Already starting to see signs of exhaustion here with this candle with large wicks. Whenever you see such candles after a market has been trending for quite a while, it's a sign of reduced momentum in the selling pressure. So let's just focus on price action on crude. Now that we've continued to push higher, this will now be my pivot low. Still waiting for selling pressure. I'm not looking for longs. Now, as I've said, I'm only trading the first 3 hours of the New York session. After that, my trading day is done, especially on the intraday. I might look to see how price is developing on the swing, but that is not something that I need to focus on a lot. I might get some sell-offs on the pairs I'm looking at. I'm looking for sell-off. I'm looking for shorts on New Zealand JPY and OD JPY on the 1 hour time frame. Also on crude. So let me just quickly go to the 1 hour time frame. Like with crude, as I've always said, I like to look for markets that have been trending. Then I start to look for reversal signs. So on crude, I'm still waiting to see if we can get the sell-offs, and it aligns very well with price action on the intraday approach. New Zealand JPY, I was waiting to see how we're going to break out of this short squeeze here over consolidation on a range, and I'm still waiting for this candle to close, and I'm still waiting for confirmation of selling pressure, because this push is not that convincing for me to look for shorts at this point in time. I still need to give it some time. On OD JPY, we are still waiting for the selling pressure. Yesterday, we were waiting to see how we are going to break outside of this ascending nature at the top. We got the selling, some sellers, but not with a lot of strength, and thus price tested these levels, and we're getting a reaction. So this is more like more of a double top sort of pattern. Whenever you get this sort of a double top, that after a market has been trending for a while, you have to be wary about looking for longs. So I want to see if I can get strong selling pressure to look for shorts on OD JPY and on New Zealand JPY. Right now my focus is on crude. I'm waiting for the selling pressure to break this floor. So I want to see 2 strong bearish candles, then I can start to look for entries on the pullback. If we can get the entry on crude today, it will be really an ideal sort of entry. Whenever I have my higher time frame aligning with the intraday, it is really ideal. Today we're just waiting for the reversals. We have to wait for the buying pressure to get exhausted completely. Any moment now we can get selling pressure. Already see the reduced momentum in the selling pressure on Euro USD. So right now it's waiting for the consolidation before we can start to look for a reversal. Once we get an impulsive push coming out of the consolidation, I'll be looking for longs. ECB press conference. If we do get the sell-offs, we have quite room for the trade to run before we can get some buying some support here. So if you do get the setup, this will be a really ideal trade for a high risk reward. There was a time I used to trade patterns, so we would look for, in this instance I would have been taking shorts at the close of this candle, mainly because what I would have been looking for is around three touches on upper trend line, but I would still have to wait. I would have to wait for another point, so I'll have to wait to see if it will come and touch that trend line again. But that was a better while back. So now I'm waiting to see if we can get two strong bearish candles. Look for the shorts on the first pullback. Hopefully you can get these sell-offs before 6 p.m. Kenyan time. As I've said, I'm only trading the first 3 hours of the New York session. see if we've gotten there. We're still waiting for the reversals also on gold, but clearly you can see the reduced momentum in the selling pressure with these candles over here. You're getting wicks and very small candles. So ideally I would like to see some consolidation, but also at this point in time I'd like to see, be wary if we break this high. If we break this high before we get the consolidation and we break with a lot of strength, then I might look to get involved with longs, but I still want to see further price development. I want to see us getting a retrace, then we push lower again, get another retrace, then we get the buying pressure. But the focus right now is on crude. Yeah, we're definitely getting good signs of exhaustion on crude. It's whether or not we are going to get the sell-offs, and if we're going to get my entry trigger. So now that we've broken this high again, moving my pivot low to this candle, low of this candle, so waiting for see how we're going to break this low. I want to see it breaking with a lot of strength. Can definitely get the selling pressure anytime from now. Have you taken any trades this week? So far I've not taken any trades this week. We've pretty much had really corrective price action on Tuesday and on Wednesday. On Monday we had a bank holiday in Japan, so I wasn't even looking to get involved in the markets. Euro USD. The 1 hour we can see clearly we have really strong selling pressure, but I'll not be looking to get involved for me. It's not the cleanest price action that I'd like to see. But we might continue to push lower and get the new lows, but still for me I'd like to wait for this trend to terminate. I'd like to see signs of exhaustion, because even if I'm to get involved with shorts, the thing is that we are likely to get deeper pullbacks once the market has pushed lower for this long. So if I do take a short, and the way I do manage my trades with my stops, I might easily get tagged out of the trade on the pullback, with a deeper pullback before price continues to push lower. But that does not mean that price is going to continue to push lower, especially with the strength of this candle. But you have to wait for this candle to close. If it closes with a large wick, that will be the clearest indication that you might get the exhaustion of the selling pressure. Are you looking to short Euro USD? And be really wary about shorting Euro USD. Let's see how this candle is going to close. Remember, we are in this area where we are anticipating to get some buying pressure, especially on the 1 hour time frame. So let's wait and see how this next candle is going to close. Even on gold, we are pushing lower. But I'm not going to get involved with shorts, even though we have really strong selling pressure. As I say, we are more likely to get deeper pullbacks. really are getting a sell-off on gold since the London session. It's just been trending lower and lower, but I was expecting this sort of price action once we got out of this consolidation. We just did not get the setup or the impulsive push I was looking for coming out of the consolidation during the London session. So I was waiting to see if we could get a strong candle close with this push, but we had this large wick, got this pullback, but price continued to push lower. Then we got this other wicks at the bottom of this push, which led me to avoid taking shorts again, but price has continued to push lower, which is normally what I say, that whenever I get a market that has been in a consolidation, if it breaks to the upside or to the downside, that's when I like to get involved, because you're likely to get trending markets. And indeed we have trended, but I was not involved with shorts. Now we are still continuing with the momentum, but I'm not going to chase the market. As I've said, we are more likely to get deeper pullbacks, so I'm not going to try and compensate for the trades that I could have taken in these levels. But like, I will understand why someone might take a, but let me see on the 1 hour. The 1 hour, but we have these areas here to be wary of. So for me right now, I'm focusing on crude. I want to see that selling pressure on crude. How did that? So we are continuing to push low on Euro USD. Personally, I'm not going to get involved with shorts on Euro USD. I'm still waiting to see if I can get signs of exhaustions, if I can look for reversals, but most likely than not, I won't get involved with entries on Euro USD today, because as I said, I'm only trading the first 3 hours of the New York session. So it may take some time before you can get the consolidation and the reversal. But clearly we are in a downtrending market. But for me, I'd like to get involved when we are in the initial legs of the trend. So if I'd gotten involved around in this area, this would have been ideal. Are you still looking for shorts on Euro USD? If you are convinced about your setup, then just follow your plan. my pivot low will still remain at this level. Still waiting for the buying pressure to be completely exhausted, then waiting to see if you can get really strong selling pressure breaking this low. Then we can look for entries on the pullback. We're still getting the sell-off on Euro, USD. I normally say that on Thursdays and Fridays are the most ideal trades, are the most ideal day for intraday trading the market because we get a lot of trends. Monday, Tuesdays, we're normally very corrective. As you can see, we got the trends today, but was not able to get involved. So hopefully you can get involved with a short on food. We're starting to get the selling pressure and see. So what I'd like to see two strong candles. So now that we've broken this, however this candle is going to close, I want to see another strong bearish candle to confirm momentum. Let's wait and see how this candle is going to close. Now, usually I do have a sort of reversal setup that I look for, but I've not tested it out enough on the indices and commodities. But if I was to look for a more risky trade, I'd be looking now to see if I could place limit entries just below the low of this candle. See if we can come tap it, then continue pushing lower. But I've not tested it out enough on this pair. For now, I'd like to see this candle pushing lower, breaking the low of this previous candle to take us a little bit lower and get a strong bearish candle close. Then I'm going to look for entries on the pullback. I'm also waiting to see if we can get signs of exhaustion on Euro USD before I can look for the bank pressure. but we might get the sell-offs on crude. Okay, so at least the good thing is that we've broken the low of this previous candle. So this is continuation of momentum. It's about how this candle is going to close. If this candle is not impulsive enough, then I'll wait for the next candle to confirm. I still want to see a strong bearish candle. So far we've not yet gotten the confirmation candle I'm waiting for. So we're still going to see how this candle is going to close. Then we're going to also wait for the next candle. So we still have to wait for strong selling pressure. We've not yet gotten the strong selling pressure. I want to see if I can start to look for shorts. So if I was looking to take the reversal setup that I was talking about, I would have been tagged in the trade right now. My stop would be somewhere around there. but I've not taken the trade. My stop will have been somewhere there. It's more of a risky reversal setup, but I've not taken that trade. I'm still waiting to get confirmation of momentum to look for pullbacks. Another way to short would have been to see if just place entries once we break outside of this lower trend line and have stops above there. But those are not setups. Those are not how I get into trades. But I know there are definitely people who get involved in such a way. You can see we're starting to get deeper pullbacks on Euro USD. You might come take out this high and range for a while before we get the buying pressure. If you want to be aggressive with the shorts on crude, you can decide to take the shorts right now and have a wide stop, and then see if you can target this area first of all, then look to see if price can come all the way to these levels. But like, that's not how that does not meet my entry trigger or my trading plan. These are just scenarios. That might play out, or possible entry setups. The thing about crude is, if you do get involved with trades, and it ends up being a win, you really have a nice ROI. It's very easy for you to get 1 to 5, between 1 to 5 to 1 to even 10 sometimes. But it's not like you're just holding the entire trade the entire way. I usually say that the way I manage my trades is, once you get the push, you get the entry. As price pushes lower, tend to move my stop previous highs. So as price pushes lower, get a pullback, we get continuation of momentum, move my stop to the previous side. Get a pullback, we get continuation of momentum, and move my stop to the previous high, so that in case you do get a reversal, I'm able to lock in some profits. I do not allow price to come all the way back to break even. That's basically how I manage my trades, so that I can allow them to run as long as possible. So now that we did not get continuation of momentum, I'm going to once again move my pivot low to the low of this candle. So I want to see if you're going to break outside this low impulsively to the downside. Then I can look for shorts. I wanted to keep this stream to 1.5 hours, but I'm still going to give it some time. I don't know why I'm getting the echo. So we're still waiting for strong selling pressure coming out of this ascending nature, or what some refer to as an ascending channel. All this goes to show is signs of exhaustion after market has been trending upwards for quite a while. So we're now looking to see if we can get some selling pressure. Look for confirm that we can now look for short entries on the pullback to get involved on the downtrend. So let's see how price has developed on euro. Yeah, we are getting the deeper pullback I was just talking about. So we might just stop these areas, then get into some sort of a range. they say that 90% of trading is just sitting and waiting, and execution is just maybe 2% or 5%. You best believe. You can see exactly why I was not looking to get involved with pullbacks on gold. To this very deep pullback that I was anticipating. Once you get prices traded for quite a while, you start to get such deep pullbacks. Gold is likely going to get into some sort of a range for a while. We might need to be a little bit more patient to get these setups on crude. The good thing is that I'm also looking for shorts on the 1 hour time frame on crude. So if you don't get the setups intraday before 6 p.m. Kenyan time, we'll still be looking to see if we can get the longs on the swing approach on the 1 hour time frame. So we might come tap these levels again before we get the sell-offs. We have come, just broken the high of this candle. I'm just going to move the pivot low slightly above. So this is the low I'm now looking for to see how we are going to break it. It's now 4:42 p.m. Kenyan time, so once you get to the top of the hour, I'll only have one more hour to trade the New York session. As I said, only trade the first 3 hours of the New York session. So I do start the trading day with the London session, or just if I can get a setup just before the London session, then I might take a trade, but maybe 1 hour before the London. But generally I trade the London on the intraday strategy that I trade the London and the entire London session up to, and then the first 3 hours of the New York session. I'm not even looking to get involved with any other pair apart from crude for the remaining part of the New York session. some buyers in the market, but it's still going to wait for the buyers to be completely exhausted. Yes, we are pushing towards that touch point, the upper trend line. For those who trade trend lines, possible you're going to touch this area over here, then you get the sell-off. But for me to get involved, I'll first of all wait to see price breaking this low, and I'd like to see it break impulsively before I can look for entries on the pullback. You can see why I like to wait for confirmation of momentum with at least 2 strong candles, because as you can see, once you get this first candle, since you did not get the confirmation, price has continued to push upwards. You could have been very easily taken out of the target of your shorts if you got involved around these areas. So that's why I like to see strong momentum before I look to get involved. 2021 I used to be in that community, and that's where we used to like look for shorts once we got such a setup like this, but it was mainly on the hourly time frame, but the concept still applies. Like if you had gotten such a setup, you'd look for 3 touches. So this is the first, the second, the third. At this area I'd be looking to see if I can get a bearish candle now, see if I could have taken shorts. You still have to be patient with crude. You still have buyers in the market. Now that we've touched this upper trend line, you might get the reaction. But like, I don't trade like that. That is just some knowledge from the previous community I was on back in 2021. We have to wait for this buying pressure to be completely exhausted. So you're getting the reaction of that level or that touch, or that upper trend. And then we are now into the third hour of the New York session, which is probably the last hour in which I'm going to look to get involved with entries on the intraday approach on the 5-minute. But I'll still be looking to see if we can get the entries, the sell-off on the 1-hour time frame. So I think we'll have to give this a little bit of time. I was intending to do the stream for 1.5 hours. We've gone for 2 hours now, so in case we do get the sell-off, I'll obviously I get the setup, I'll obviously update you with a community post on the channel, and I might also go through the trade in tomorrow's London session. But for now, I don't think I'm going to continue streaming. I'm just going to see if we're going to get the sell-off within this next 1 hour. If not, then I'm going to look for the setups on the 1 hour time frame, which might present, when the setups might present themselves maybe during the Asian session, or even we might get the sell-offs maybe later on, or the entry setup during the London session tomorrow. So with that said, I hope I'll get to see you during tomorrow's London session. Just before I leave, you can see this sort of a doji bearish candle. We've gotten a that touch of the trend. This would have been my entry if I was executing using the strategy I was talking about. It stops about that level. You can see I'm starting to get a reaction. But for me right now, I'll wait to see if we're going to break this low impulsively to look for entries on the pullback. So that said, I hope to see you guys in tomorrow's London session